Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today's actually going to be the first time that we're doing a video in English. But before we get deeper into any car that's either standing right behind me or any other car that's standing outside on the yard, let me show you guys a little bit about who we are, where we are, and what we do. Let's go! So let's see, how do I get started? Well, we do engine harnesses and throttle bodies for all Mercedes models out of the 90s, even before, even a little later. Pretty much all wiring problems that you can think of any Mercedes model by now, actually, since we actually did a couple of E-Class models from starting 2000s going up to 2005, some AMGs. All the electrical wiring that you can think of is actually what we're doing. This car right here behind me is actually a 6-cylinder, which we're going to get into a little later. But just for you guys to know, we do have an Instagram channel where you can actually look at our work, see what we're doing every day. I try to keep it up to date as far as, you know, work that comes in, work that goes out, throttle bodies that make problems. There's even a couple of stories here every now and then. So you guys can actually follow up on us and see exactly what we're doing. So the car wizard said that it would probably cost around $9,000 to get the car fixed that he had on his yard. Well, honestly guys, if you don't have an option to look for and you don't know where to look for, and obviously the States, there's nobody that like us that actually does those engine harnesses, I would say it's probably about right, because you have to find somebody that actually does it. You have to find somebody that knows what he's doing, because it's more than just taking it out, taking it from the shelf, buying it new and putting it back in. We actually have 3 V12s currently here at the yard. I'm standing, there's one right here. This one is actually pretty bad. All the other ones so far are parked outside because we do not have space right here anymore. We got to move them back and forth. This is another 600, and all the way back there is where we parked the third one. Now those are perfect examples where I can actually show you guys what you have to take care of, or at least what you could look at if you actually have a SL600. Let me show you guys what's under there. This one came to us as a non-runner. Now the owner actually said that there's only a couple of more things that we have to fix, and then it'll run perfectly fine. Now, let me just show you what arrived here. Now, as you can see, this is the same exact engine that the car wizard had on his SL600. Now, all the wires that you see here, for example, you can see they're absolutely already fallen apart. There's nothing to them anymore. Those should be 5, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 wires actually go from the airflow sensor. Now the airflow sensor, let me see if I can find it right now, or if they actually cut it right here. So this is actually one of the plugs that goes all the way in here, all the way to the module box that they took apart already. And they go, one side goes to the green one, the other one actually goes to the blue one. So what we actually provide is you have to cut those 2 plugs, meaning right where they go in. So they would be right here. So you pull it back a little bit, you cut it both sides, and we provide you the whole way, all the way back to the module box, because all the rest of the other wires, they're perfectly fine. As you can see, they're not falling apart. It's really just those 5, or let's say 10 wires that go back and forth. Engine harness here already taken apart. So this is actually one that's in the car. Let me show you. It's actually right here. Now, if you take a closer look, you know what, guys? We're gonna take this inside so I can show you even better. So right now I actually have the V12 on the table, and you can see somebody already tried to open it, and you can see how all the wires are totally shot. Now, the reason I took this harness here inside is because I want to show you. Take a look of how, when it was original, how all the wires were laid down in different paths, meaning this one is going to the left. See how far it actually goes till here. They actually have a junction point right here where all the wires are connected to each other. Now, or even little stuff like how big or thick this 3mm tape is right here, and how the way they actually taped it. Now, if you take a closer look, this is a finished product of when we're done. We try to keep it as original as possible. So I'm talking 3mm tape. Take a look of what kind of swing those wires actually have, where the junction points are, how they actually go from one place to the other. Everything looks just like the original, only better, because those wires will never break down ever again. We reuse some of the parts, as you can see right here. This is the original part number. This is just a sleeve from it. So those are always parts that we like to reuse because they don't break, and it's always nice to have the original part number to it. Stuff like that. And also plugs like this we reuse because they don't break. And some of the plugs, like this one for example, this is actually, we have to find a special way of how to open this plug and how to close it back down. Even stuff like this, you know how it was on the original. So if you take a closer look once again right here, if it's still there, I'm not even sure. No, they already took it apart, so it's not even existent anymore. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that we actually pay attention to detail 100%. This is one of the most important things. If you open the hood of any car that we worked on, or any car that we send a throttle body or engine harness out, if somebody opens the hood, he's not supposed to recognize that we were there. That's one of the go-tos that we actually pay attention to. Now, since this is a very complicated topic and there's lots of engines and differences in each and every harness or even throttle body, I could go on and on and on and tell you stuff about certain details that we do, what we do. But I guess this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning for you guys to see what we're actually doing. Therefore, I would say we just start with what's behind me right here, which is a 6-cylinder, like I already said. It's not a common engine in the United States, I would say, because you guys usually like the bigger ones, but still you can see that the wires are slowly but surely falling apart. This is still a good example, so it's not as bad as it was on the V12 that I just showed you, but if you do take a closer look, see how it's all brittle and already cracked up a little bit right here. This wiring needs to come out, so we replace it. So therefore, not so much talking, more working. Let's get it going. Be ready. Let's go.
Just don't know if I've been faking or pretending, but I know I never felt so damn alive. I don't know if I believe the information given, that there is someone by your side. Coming back inside my body for a second, there is no way that I'm never gonna try. Hello, where you at, where you been? Tell me everything about you, go slow, so I can write it down and become the perfect man for you. What you like, what you don't, you should never be flying so low. Hop into the cockpit, I can be your rocket. Hey, fly. So what have you been sitting there and thinking all this time?
So guys, here we have it. Engine harness is out, throttle body is out, both on the ground. Let me show you how this looks right now. So like I said before, this is probably not the engine that most of you guys are interested in, but it doesn't matter. The purpose is all the same. Take a look at this right now. I hope the autofocus is catching this, but all wires here falling apart. If you take a look at all the cylinders, if you take a look right now, this is actually, there's a rubber behind it, but if you actually take this rubber and pull it back a little, you will see the extension of the wiring. And if you take a look right now, you can see that all of this is slowly falling apart. Now this goes into each and every plug, so I could show you every plug right now. So honestly, if you take in the car, if everything was still in the car, you didn't see that it was that bad. But honestly, all of the wires inside of this little loom are totally melted. Same with the throttle body. If you take a look at the throttle body right now, nobody would actually think that it is broke. Now let me show you. If you open this case right here, let me show you the insides of this throttle body. So we're actually back in our room, or back in the room where the magic happens. So this was the throttle body that we took out of the car. Now I just opened up the case right here, 4 screws. And if you actually take a look inside, it kind of looks good. If you actually take those wires and you just touch them a little bit, you will see that all the insulation is actually slowly but surely falling apart. I guess we'll see it better if we're actually taking it apart, but I can actually show you another example right now. But you can see they're all brittle. There's little cracks. If you keep touching those wires, they'll all be bare metal. Same here. Now, this is actually, let's see if I can get it right now. Oh, come on, focus. Stick with me, people. But I guess you get the point. So let's see how all of these things look when we're done doing everything the right way. So it is actually the next day, and I already saw that one of the, or let's say the throttle body, the one throttle body is done. The harness is being done right now. So that's why we are going to visit the guys. Just like I showed you yesterday, this is the finished product when we're done. Now you can actually see the wires that were in there before. Even better, there is nothing to them anymore. There's still some leftovers right here, but if you can see, if I barely touch them, it is all falling apart. Now when we're done, if you take a look inside, all new wires right there. Everything is done nicely. What's left right now is we need to write down all the values of the throttle body so we know for sure that everything is nicely done. Plug right here, you can see we open it, we close it back down, it's waterproof, everything is fine. So this one is almost ready to go. Super clean. Remember how it looked before. And now on this side you can see that the harness is already halfway done. So you can see the ignition coils, spark plugs, whatever you call them, they're already done. So one side is already done of the remaining harness, so we just cut all the plugs, and now the other side is being done right now. So it will only be a couple of more hours, I would say, until I can get back to the car, put everything back together, and then we can see if it actually works or not. Okay, so the engine harness is also finished. You can see it, it's already laid down to the table here. You cannot really tell that we were here. Original part number, nice and clean. The airflow sensor plug is perfectly fine. All the wires here are brand new. You can't even see that we touched it, which is always the goal. It looks perfectly fine. It just needs to be put back into the car. Throttle body is laying here. All the values that we wrote down perfectly fine. This is going back to the customer so that he sees what kind of condition his throttle body was before we touched it. Look at this one, nice and clean. So I guess with the snap of the fingers, everything is going to be put back in. It's only going to take a couple of minutes for you guys. For me, it's going to take a little while to put everything nicely back in, but I guess we'll just get it going. Let's go. So guys, as you can see right behind me, everything is buttoned up, everything is back to its place. This is actually a really nice car as far as condition. Everything, you can tell that whoever worked on this before made sure that all the original screws are on its place, all the like plastic screws, covers. You can just tell, you know, with some cars, you can just, once you touch them, you actually feel if somebody took care of it or not. But getting back to the harness, you can see everything is back to its original place, laid down pretty nice, just like it was original. Clamps are back on. Now let's see if the car will actually start back up. Let me just go over in my head once again, but I think I'm good. So stick with me. This is as real as it can get. Boom, right here. Car is in neutral. And it runs perfectly fine. No lights are on. Let's go back to the engine. So I guess we know what we're doing, and I guess we did a good job as far as all the electrical components. Yeah, amazing. Check it out. Look how smooth it runs, super cold. We show you the temperature in here so you can see that it's really super cold. We're still below 40. Perfect. Idle is right on the money. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So there you have it, guys. Another classic car is saved. So this one will definitely be on the roads for a little longer. If you have any questions regarding any engine as far as V8, V12, 6-cylinder, questions regarding throttle bodies, engine harnesses, all the other electrical wiring that you could think of, make sure to write it down in the comments, to actually write us an email, call us. You can call us anytime. So obviously now you know we speak English too. There is definitely going to be more videos coming up about different engines. So I'm hoping to see you soon. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Oh my God. Fresh.